Welcome to A New Life podcast with Pamela Jean, where it's all about empowering women to empower more women. Get ready, friends, to create a new life. And here is your host, Pamela Jean.
Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to A New Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Jean. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are diving into a topic that resonates with each and every one of us at some point in our lives. And that topic today is failure. What if I told you failure is actually a gift? What if we could reframe failure in a way that empowers us rather than holds us back? Buckle up, friends, because we are about to transform the way you look at failure. First of all, let's talk about the myth of failure. We have been taught to fear failure, to see it as an endpoint, that if we fail, it's game over, we are done. But what if I told you that failure is simply a part of the journey, a stepping stone to success? Consider Thomas Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed, I just found 10,000 ways that it won't work." Edison reframed his so-called failures as experiments, each one bringing him closer and closer to his ultimate success. What if we adopted that mindset in our own lives? Think about that for a second. Think about how many times you've tried something and it didn't work. What if you looked at it as a failure and just stopped trying? Change your mindset and think about it as, like Thomas Edison, an experiment, bringing you one step closer to your ultimate success. When we reframe failure as feedback, it becomes a powerful tool for our growth. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" This subtle shift in perspective changes absolutely everything. Failure is no longer a dead end. It is a detour that brings valuable lessons. So, friends, I want you to grab a notebook. Do it now, do it later, but I want you to start thinking about some recent failure that you had in your life. How did it make you feel? Now, I want you to reframe that. After you thought about your failure and you think about how it made you feel, think about reframing it. What did you learn from that experience? How can you use that knowledge to move forward? Take a moment and jot down your thoughts. The next thing I want to talk about today is the benefits of failure. We talked about the myth of failure before, but let's dive into the benefits of failure. Yes, you heard me right. Failure has benefits. Once we recognize them, we can harness them and fuel our growth and success. So benefit number one is that it builds resilience. Failure builds resiliency. Every time we fail and get back up, we strengthen our ability to cope with adversity. This resilience is crucial not just for achieving our goals, but for navigating the ups and downs in life. Imagine if you gave up every time something didn't go your way. Benefit number two is gaining clarity. Failure provides clarity. When something doesn't work out, it often highlights what truly matters to us. It helps us refine our goals and align our actions with our deepest values. Another benefit is sparks innovation. Failure sparks innovation. Some of the greatest breakthroughs have come through so-called failures. When we're focused to think outside of the box, we can come up with creative solutions we might have never considered otherwise. Can you think of a product that was developed out of a failure? If I'm not mistaken, the sticky note, the Post-it note, was created out of failure. Imagine that. Wouldn't you have liked to have been the person who invented the Post-it note? So let's do a little exercise here. Get out your notebook again. Think about a time when you faced a significant setback. Once you have that setback in your mind, I want you to think about, how did that experience build your resilience? Think about that for just a moment. How did that failure build your resilience? What clarity did you gain from it? Did it spark any new ideas or innovations? Reflect on these questions and write down your insights. What's really important, friends, especially if you're building a business, you're going to fail nearly every single day. If you're in the middle of building your business, you are going to fail time and time again. And if you can start looking at that failure as opportunity or lessons learned, you're very quickly going to shift from fearing failure to anticipating it, actually excited when you get it because you know you're going to learn something great and amazing. So the next thing I want to talk about is practical strategies for reframing your failure. Let's get really, really practical here. How can you actively reframe failure in your daily life? I'm going to share some strategies that you can start using today. You can get on it right away. Change your language. The words we use matter. Instead of saying, "Oh, I failed," try saying, "I'm learning." This small change in language can have a big impact on how we perceive, receive, and react to setbacks. Another strategy is set learning goals. Instead of focusing on solely an outcome-based goals, set learning goals. For example, instead of aiming to lose 10 pounds, aim to learn about healthier eating habits and consistent exercise routines to help you reach your goals. This shift in focus reduces the fear of failure and emphasizes growth. Another strategy is to celebrate the small wins. Celebrate your progress, my friends, no matter how big or how small. Each step forward is a victory, and recognizing wins keep you motivated and positive even when you encounter those setbacks. Another strategy, number 4, is practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, friends. Failure is a natural part of the human experience. Practicing self-compassion helps you bounce back more quickly with a much healthier mindset. You know, we are the worst when it comes to being compassionate for ourselves. We have a tendency to be so hard on one another, harder on ourselves than we would ever be on someone else. But practice that self-compassion. Be kind to you. Failure is part of the human experience. It's part of life, if you will. So make sure you practice a little extra compassion on you today. So which one of these strategies resonated with you? I went through 4 of them. The first was change your language. The second one, set learning goals. Strategy number 3 was celebrate small wins. And strategy number 4 was practice self-compassion. Which one of these strategies resonates most with you? And how can you incorporate this strategy into your life starting today? Because we want some instant results. We want to work on this right now. If you're listening to this right now and you struggle with failure and what failure means to you, which one of those strategies speak to you? Which strategy do you feel you can implement today? Take a moment and write down your thoughts and create a plan for implementation today. So friends, before we wrap up, I want to just share a couple of personal stories with you. You know, a few years ago, I launched a program. When I first started my coaching business about 8-9 years ago, I launched a program and it didn't perform as well as I expected it to. At first I felt like, geez, you suck, you're a terrible coach, you failed. But when I looked closer, I realized I just gained insights, invaluable knowledge to help me speak to my audience as they truly needed to be spoken to. I used that feedback to create a more successful program later on. You know, it's like, even when I think about the first time I picked up my camera Many of you know I came from a portrait industry background. The first time I picked up my camera, my gosh, I didn't know what I was doing. It has taken me a very long time to really hone in on those skills. So friends, give yourself that grace, give yourself that self-compassion, and know that you're going to have setbacks, you're going to have failures, but it is okay. Every single setback you have is a learning experience. Another time, I struggled with a personal goal. I wanted to eat healthier and do all the things, and I tried really hard on the health and the nutrition and all of those. I got the working out every day thing. I got that down. But as far as my eating to really accomplish those goals, I just struggle there for whatever reason. So I struggle with that, but yet I keep going. I keep trying. I keep doing better every day and celebrate those small wins along the day. I do like my ice cream. I'm not going to lie. That's probably my biggest vice is coffee, way too much, and ice cream. Those two, I'm telling you, get me in trouble every single time. But I just try to do a little bit better every day, and it's all good. It truly is all good. So friends, I want you to take some time and really analyze those action items that I gave you throughout this podcast. Talk about the reflection part of a recent failure that you had in your life that's still top of mind. How did it make you feel? How do you want to reframe it? And what can you learn from that experience? That is so important to take some time and reflect and do some work and create some action items for each of these things. The next reflection action item I had for you is think about a time when you faced a significant setback. How did that experience build your resilience? Resiliency is necessary in life, my friends. Without resiliency, you will always struggle, and I don't want that for you, and I don't think you want that for yourself. The last action item was really, which of the strategies resonate with you? The self-compassion, the celebrate the small wins, set learning goals. Which one of those strategies resonate with you the most, and how can you incorporate them into your daily life starting right now to shift and reframe how you see failure? So I'm going to end with this today, friends. Thank you for joining me. I always value that you spend time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope this episode has inspired you to see failure in a new light. And remember, it's not about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and using it as a stepping stone to your ultimate success. Now, friends, if you have found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe to A New Life podcast with Pamela Jean for more insights and inspiration. Until next time, my friends, let's go out there and reframe our failures together. Thank you, my friends, and God bless.
Thank you for joining us today on A New Life podcast. We will see you next time.